In this video, we're going to talk about how to turn your brand into a movement on Instagram. My name's Meredith, and this is the Meredith Callagher Show, where we talk about marketing plans for small businesses. I believe hope's not a strategy. Everybody has to put a plan in place for success. Now would be a great time to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a video on Tuesdays, and hit the bell so you'll get a reminder. My favorite way to help a business build their brand is with story, and I have found a Bible to help us do that. Build Your Story Brand by Donald Miller. Now hang on to the end of this video, because at the end I'm going to give you a fill-in-the-blank sentence that will help you create a movement for your brand on Instagram, but you need a little bit of the backstory, so hang tight. Now Miller teaches the most effective marketing campaign speaks to both our cerebral brain that likes all the pretty things and our primitive brain. And the best way that you can speak to both is with a story. Now, our primitive brain is the one that has made sure the human race has survived for hundreds of millions of years. The primitive brain is looking for where we're going to get our food next, to keep us away from danger, to protect our family, to shelter us from harm, and to prepare for war. And the way that we can talk to that brain is through creating a story of our business, and then we make it fluffy for the cerebral cortex to bring that in. What the key to Miller's successful book is that in that story, and the way you talk to that primitive brain, is you make the customer the hero. And this is what differentiates companies that use Miller's story brand to the ones that their marketing campaigns aren't as successful. Humans don't care to hear, rah, rah, my company's great, rah, rah, I went to Harvard, I have all these MBAs, and now buy my thing. No, they want you to tell you why that the customer can see transformation or maybe revelation if they work with you. So every good villain has a protagonist, right? So before we create our villain for Instagram, I want you to think about the protagonist in your brand story. I want you to think about your customer and just sort of jot down that his story when he works with your brand, that hero's story. And you can do that by think about your ICA, your ideal customer avatar. He's going to be your hero, or she. And if you don't have your ICA constructed, then definitely watch this video when I tell you how to create your ICA. Write his hero's journey. You know, he had a problem that you identified, and he found your business or your product, he used it, and then because he decided to use your product, he decided to help himself and use your services, then he became a rock star, and he no longer had the problem that he had when he began working with you. That's the hero's journey. You find your customer's villain by completing this sentence. What blank is doing to my customer is not right. So for this show, I would fill in that sentence as, what overwhelm is doing to my audience is not right, correct? Because I believe that every small business owner should have a marketing plan, and that hope is not a strategy. And I am confident that the reason that business owners don't have a marketing plan in place is not because they don't want one or they don't think they need one. I think y'all all know that you need a marketing plan in place for your business and that you want one. But dude, you just have way too much information. You're not quite sure who to believe or what to believe, and you don't have the time, right? You're overwhelmed. So what overwhelm is doing to the Meredith Callagher Show audience is not right. So we've got the villain, overwhelm, and now we need a catchy phrase, like a rally cry. And I thought about it a bit. I've got a lot of different ways I could go with that, but I like no more noise. No more noise, no more noise. Because, you know, there's so many people telling us so many different things, and you know what? A lot of them are right. It's just it's overwhelming. So we want to stop the noise. No more noise, cut out the noise, and just watch me, right? Love it. And then to create that brand movement on Instagram, I would use my rally cry whenever I could weave it in. Check out my Instagram marketing strategy, and anywhere that I say write a caption or type words on your Instagram story, I would hashtag no more noise. Hashtag that rally cry and get it in your audience's brain. And you guys, you will watch the movement grow. And then to encourage your audience to start using your hashtag no more noise, you could run a little contest, maybe a giveaway. Say give away a $25 gift card to your favorite shop. And everybody qualifies that comments below with something that overwhelms them, hashtag no more noise. Or maybe for me, I could say, tell me your favorite YouTube video that I've created, and then hashtag no more noise. And I'm gonna pick from the people that commented below and give away a $25 gift card to my favorite store, The Wardrobe, next Tuesday. Cool, right? Almost 10 years ago, when I was living in Dallas, I went to a business conference called Spark and Hustle. It was hosted by Tori Johnson. Are you familiar with Tori Johnson? Are you a Good Morning America fan? She does the deals and steals on Good Morning America. And before she did that, or maybe still, she was a business coach. She helped entrepreneurs and she ran this conference. And I went with my next door neighbor in Dallas. I was actually selling a brand of clothing out of my home called W by Worth, which is awesome, by the way. My girlfriend had information research and storage company. She worked with attorneys that needed information from hospitals, and she cataloged it and found it. And she found the Spark and Hustle conference and invited me to go, so we went. Tori Johnson had us sit at tables in small groups, and at my table was a woman named Micah May. When I met Micah, she had a big, like, over-the-shoulder bag full of notebooks with covers that she'd hand sewn onto the notebook, and she was at the time looking for a manufacturing company to work with that would hand sew them. That's how she believes that it should be done. She had a hashtag, or we didn't call it a hashtag then, 10 years ago. She had a slogan that life's too short to buy ugly notebooks. So that was her villain, ugly notebooks. She said, we don't have time for that. We need some beauty in our life, and we're all busy, and so our notebooks shouldn't be ugly. I lost track of Micah, and then recently, you all know I love Rachel Hollis, and by the way, next weekend I'm going to the Rise conference in Dallas, so next Tuesday I'll share a recap of the Rise conference. I'm so excited. And if you're watching this video not in real time, the day I post it, check my next video online. It's going to be about my experience at Rise. But anyway, I found the Rachel Hollis podcast. I listened to her current ones, but I went back and listened to all of her episodes. And guess what episode 53 is? Her interview with Micah May. She talked to Micah about how Micah kept hustling when everybody told her no at the beginning. So maybe we weren't buying that villain, life's too short for ugly notebooks, but Micah didn't give up. And now she has a thriving company. And you know what? Not only did I find her on Rachel Hollis's podcast, and I was dying. I couldn't believe it was the girl I'd met 10 years ago that sat at the table next to me at Spark and Hustle. But she mentioned on that podcast that she was at Target, one of my favorite places. So I went to Target and I bought a set of May Design pens. That's the name of her company, May Design. So you guys, she stuck to that villain. Life is too short for ugly notebooks. And it worked for her, and it worked for you. Use my fill in the blank. What blank is doing to my customers isn't right, and create that villain. And remember, it's not your customers' problems, it's the root of your customers' problems, right? So my customer is overwhelmed. They don't want any more noise, no more noise. So they don't have the marketing strategy. So the problem is that they don't have a marketing plan in place. And they need a marketing plan to meet all their sales goals. But the root of the reason why they don't have the marketing plan is overwhelm. So I can't wait to hear about your villains. Please tag me at Meredith Callagher and show me what hashtags you come up with. And if you have any questions, of course, ask them below. Direct message me on Instagram. I'm very active on Instagram. I'll get back to you right away, as well as here on YouTube. Please subscribe and share my video with any small business owner that you think could use some help, that might benefit from starting a movement on Instagram to rally their customers and make more sales. Have a great day. Bye.